NBA 2K20 tutorial number 46. Today we're going to talk about the best player builds to use to help you succeed in the Combine. We will study in detail the top 2 to 3 builds in my opinion in every position that's likely going to give you the best chance to achieve a top advanced stat line. So if you enjoy my tutorials and you would like to see more information on gameplay and also the Combine, click on the link above or below in my description for my all 2K20 tutorials playlist, where you're going to find more information on the game and especially on how you can get into the 2K League via the Combine. So the Combine is available starting today. If you have that tab, go into it and you'll be able to see these builds. Now, I'm going to be talking about every single one of them. So each position has 8. We're going to start off with point guard, so there are the 8, but I'm going to show you the best ones. So, likely the best point guard build that is available to you is the 6'2", 180 pounds offensive threat. Now, if you take a look at the top left corner, this is very important because that's the grand badge of your build, and that cannot be changed, unlike what you guys are used in retail. So you notice offensive threat comes with the sharp badge. So if you get it, you'll be, a better shooter, which correlates very well into what this build does. So let's take a look at the strengths of the build. Now the shooting attributes wise, 84 mid-range, 84 3-point shot, 88 free throw, and 84 post fade. But most importantly, from the badge standpoint, it's got Hall of Fame quick draw. This is the point guard. You're gonna likely to dribble and pull up on this. Hall of Fame quick draw is everything. And if you got your jumpers down, Hall of Fame green machine is also likely the one you want. Sure, can you space out in the corner? You got corner specialist. You have silver range extender, so you can't go too far on the hash. But you also have silver volume shoulder. So this build is that point guard that you want to use to bring up the ball. And because you have 87 handling and 93 speed, you can speed boost. You're a little bit short at 6'2", but this build is essentially a high-scoring EFG hunting build. You are likely going to make a ton of threes, and you have enough handling, should be able to keep the ball safe, and you should be able to find assists if the big man is slipping, or if the defender from the corner is rotating over, defender slip, then you can hit the corner man. You will have your passing reads. You are likely going to force the opposing big man to step up. I suggest you use this once you get your shot timing down with quick draw and green machine. If you have your shot down with the speed boost handling, you will find plenty, and I mean plenty of threes in this build. It is also very fast, one of the fastest builds in the entire Combine regardless of position. Decent perimeter defense and also solid 61 steal. So you can probably get a couple of steals rotating from the corner if you can bait the passes. You can't really finish with driving dunks, but that's not what this is about. This guy is here to shoot threes, shoot it at a high volume, and then use that as a threat to create assists. Very good for your EFG, likely going to be a high usage build, but you can probably help yourself with the amount of assists. And if you're going to win the game with this build, you can probably, take the last quarter off to share the ball, tone it down, and you should have a very good EFG usage rate and assist stat line. Very high scoring for sure, very high shooting, true shooting percentage. Now the next one we're going to look at is the 6'4" slashing playmaker point guard at 190 pounds with the playmaker grand badge. This is a more well-rounded build. You can see the driving layup is very strong, more finishing badges. The shooting is just above average, 78 mid-range, 75 3-point shot, and barely any post fade, 62. Now, quick draw is on gold. Corner specialist is still on gold, but I mean, if you're spacing as a point guard, you got problems. You shouldn't be doing that. There is no range extender, so this guy can't space. This guy needs the ball all the damn time. Now, his playmaking, though, is incredible. Pass accuracy at 94, ball handling at 94, post moves at 90, 94 speed, 94 acceleration, speed boosting machine. He has Hall of Fame quick first step. He's got Hall of Fame handles for days. This is a high dribble build, hunting for penetration, right? And he's also got 4 general on gold, so he helps his team out majorly. This is not an off the dribble shooter. If you're using this point guard, it is likely because you're not confident with your shot timing. And above it all, you're not able to shoot as well as the offensive threat, because the badges are way worse in terms of shooting. See, no volume shooter, no green machine, and Hall of Fame is only on quick draw, Dead Eye is only on silver. This is a driver, no range extender either. This is a driver and a transition finishing machine. If you can grab boards, or you can just get the, the kick out from the board, you got gold downhill, you got silver dimer. This guy is there to play the fast break. If you're a very good fast break player, this is the build you use, because you cannot shoot. If you can shoot, there's no reason to use this build, unless your shooting is so amazing you can hit 75 free ball on gold quick draw with no range extender and no green machine and no volume shooter. It's not a very favorable approach if you're trying to hit freeze. The offensive threat, like we're talking top 35 stat line here, so a top point guard player, it's gonna blow this build out of the water in terms of EFG, because even you're just gonna get dunks, you're likely not gonna be able to outshoot the other guy. However, because of the amazing driving ability of this build and the Giant Slayer and the fancy footwork and the fact that you are 6'4", you're 2 inches taller, you can get into the lanes and you can create a lot of kick out opportunities. And your handles is very safe, so as long as you play it smart, very limited turnovers. This is the point guard build you use if you can't find your shot in the combine. Like, unfortunately, if that's just you just can't shoot in the combine because it's on different sliders, you will have to settle for this point guard, create penetration, try to finish in the lane with hop steps. If the defense rotates over, dot some people. And once in a while, maybe you can hit a wide open 3 if you're on fire. But at least because you got gold floor general and the silver dimer, you're likely gonna help your shooters and all the stuff. Make sure you abuse that go downhill as much as you can. And then the handles for days, obviously. So penetrate, drive, kick, finish, 5-out build. If you got a non-shooting center with this guy, I don't know how that's going to play out in the combine. That's different, right? Not set like a non-shooting center that can't roll smart with this point guard. If people force you to shoot, they might just give you the shot. If you start missing them, it's not going to be good for your advanced stat line. So beware. And then the third option at the point guard, surprisingly, is actually the scoring machine at 6'3", 170 pounds with the shot creator grand badge. Now, this guy, Hall of Fame quick draw, silver range extender, Hall of Fame Dead Eye, and gold difficult shots. Free balls at 80, mid range is at 81, free throws decent, 88, post fade is also excellent. No speed boosting though, because ball handle is only at 82 and the speed is only at 85. So why do you use this one? Well, if you can figure out your combine dribble moves, which is possible because you don't get to customize your dribbles, and if you can't really dribble as much as you'd like without customized dribbles, this is the kind of point guard you will have to go into in the combine. Because this guy can actually score everywhere. Unlike the previous 2 point guard builds, this guy's got an 82 driving dunk and Hall of Fame Giant Slayer, gold fancy footwork, teardropper on gold, relentless finisher, and slippery finisher, and gold contact finisher. This guy can really drive, and at the same time, he can really shoot. If it's up to me, it depends. If you're not a good dribble head, this scoring machine build is actually better than the slashing playmaker, because at least you're going to be able to hit some pull-up threes. If you're a angle hunting player, a high IQ player, but not a very heavy dribble head, or you just can't find the dribble moves you like in the combine, this point guard scoring machine might bail you out, because surprisingly, last year in the combine, a lot of shooting guards actually made it in as a shot creator, because you don't need that many dribble moves. If you can get the space in combine, the defenders are not going to be that great. If you can get the space and you can get just in front of someone or put someone behind you, this point guard scoring machine is going to do a lot more damage than you expect it to. Because if you look at it closer, it can do everything except speed boost. So if you don't need speed boost, and sometimes you don't in a combine setting, this scoring machine will likely pile up a lot of points, scoring from everywhere and getting dunks when the defense allow dunks, and getting frees when the defense is playing for dunks. This is the most versatile point guard build. You can speed boost, but if you're a smart guy, you would do a lot of damage with this, because the defense can't play you both ways. And like only the best defense can, but you're not going to face that in the combine. So this scoring machine will be unstoppable from an offensive standpoint. Alright, so those are the point guards. So here are the 8 builds for the shooting guard. Those are the charts. And once again, only 3 are kind of, top choices, more feasible. You have the 6'5" offensive threat shooting guard with the shot creator grand badge. I actually think this is the best handler in the entire combine. Like, if you're a point guard, you should probably settle for this one. Why? Because it's a much taller offensive threat at 6'5", and it's still very fast at 90 speed, 88 acceleration, 87 ball handling. It's a 6'5" guard that can speed boost. Defense is great, I mean it's good enough, but you have Hall of Fame quick draw and Hall of Fame quick first step. None of the point guards had that. This guy does. He also has gold handle for days, Hall of Fame difficult shots, and Hall of Fame green machine. And if you do happen to space, because sometimes a 2 guard should be spacing, he has Hall of Fame catch and shoot and gold range extender. This is the best handler in the combine. Most versatile, most, scoring from like handling and shooting. And he's big. 6'5" is really big. And if the opposing team is focusing a lot of, on your point guard, and if you happen to run into a point guard that's not very good, you can just take over. This is the best solution type build in the entire combine because of that. So point guards definitely use this, and sharps obviously use this, but everybody should be using this build because this build can feast. If your point guard is good, you can space out and eat. If your point guard is no good, you can take over, right? So now you have options to win. This build gets you that. Now this other top shooting guard build is the scoring machine at 6'5" at 195 with the sharp grand badge. This one is not bad. Like, if you can't really handle that well, you might want to have to use this, but honestly, there's really no reason to do this build unless you really want to drive. If you want to shoot freeze, you have to go use the offensive threat. It's just way better, and it can speed boost. This one can speed boost, doesn't shoot nearly as well, but he can drive. This one's got 83 driving dunk, and it's got the fancy footwork. It's got the giant slayer at much higher levels. It's not nearly as good as that Ofred build because it just has way less Hall of Fame badges. It's only got like 3. The Ofred build has like 5, so like it's incomparable. But if you like to drive and that's a big part of your game, this one is the one you use, but probably stick with the offensive threat. And another viable shooting guard build is the 2-way sharpshooter, which I think is actually the best lockdown build in the entire game. So if you're a lockdown, this is the one you should definitely be going for, with the 79 free ball with Hall of Fame catch and shoot and Hall of Fame corner specialist. Being in the corner is a deadeye and quick draw on gold and Hall of Fame green machine. This is a deadly corner build. If you happen to be the lock and you're just sitting in corner, you'll be helping spacing out the floor. Now, but on defense, you have Hall of Fame clamps, right? And your lateral quickness is decent, perimeter defense is decent. These don't look too great, but it's actually great in the combine context because there's no true locks that's usable in the combine because the other true locks are 35 free ball. You can't do that. The steal and block here is at 80. So you should be able to get a decent amount of on-ball steals and also passing lane steals. If you can time them, this build is for that. And it's also relatively fast. It's got very high defensive rebound. So let's say if your team has another lock and then you end up being just a secondary lock, you will actually probably feast and kill from the corner, and you'll be able to get a lot of boards, which is going to be huge for your DRTG and things like that. So this is likely the best lock build because it's more versatile. If your team has another lock, you can play off-ball lock. If your team doesn't have a lock, you can play on-ball lock. Either way, your shooting will be there, so your EFG true shooting will all be, pretty well done. So this is likely the build you want to use if you're a lock, but if you're a point guard or main handler, please use the shooting guard over it. That build is not even fair. And if you have to use a scoring machine because you want to drive, sure, but that's a big part of your game, then you need it because you can drive and kick. But Ofred and this lock, these are the ones. Now, in terms of small forward, here are the 8 pie charts again, but once again, only 3 are viable. So the first one that is very good is the small forward Ofred, standing at 6'6", 195 with the shot creator grand badge. Once again, Hall of Fame quick draw, gold range extender, gold difficult shots, gold difficult machine, green machine, difficult machine, gold catch and shoot, 85 free ball, and 85 mid range. That's very high in combine. Likely one of the highest, especially for a wing player. But at the same time, weirdly enough, even though you can speed boost at 81 handle and 85 speed, you have Hall of Fame quick first step, Hall of Fame space creator, Hall of Fame stop and go, and handler for days. This guy can dribble. And most weirdly enough, your speed and acceleration is at 85 and 83. This guy is a transition threat. He can, in the fast break, this guy's a menace. It's an absolute menace in the fast break. Because he can just stop, and get like a trail free, or he can run ahead because he's pretty fast. Now, can he throw it on people's heads? No, but he's fast as heck, so he's probably gonna get some easy layups. And most importantly, he can hit freeze, right? And he can actually post. If the opposing team's got a smaller guy on you at 82 post move and 87 post fade, you'll be able to hit it. And because you can handle, you can probably get into that area yourself and just start backing people down. Now, downside is, if you're playing this, going into the combine with this, you're pretty much expecting your team to likely not have a lock. You'll be very lucky to run into a shooting guard that's running locks. I'm sure lots of shooting guards will run lock, but not a ton. If you use this for 40 games, maybe you'll see a shooting guard lock for 8 of them. So the other 32 games, you're playing with 2 more handlers. So, you know, why would people give you the ball, right? But it's very hard to make it in as a lock. You guys know that. This build likely is actually easier to crack top 35 in the combine because you can probably score a ton with this as a small forward. And if you're looking for that top 35 stat line, you can like outpace people just being a very, you know, high scoring small forward, hitting freeze and getting assists and getting easy transition baskets. You can't D-worth it like, but you will have a very good advanced stat lines, and you can probably win that way because you're providing your team a lot of offense in case your point guard or shooting guard sucks. So if you're lucky, you run into a shooting guard lock, oh my goodness, this build will be the one. Now, the next one that's also pretty good is the small forward two-way sharpshooter, which is likely the second best lock build in the game. You can see the shooting is at 77 free ball, 78 mid-range, gold shooting badges, but Hall of Fame quick draw. In the corner with catch and shoot and green machine, this guy's a threat. You just gotta find your shot. Now, defense is not great, but in the combine setting, they actually are, even though only 78 perimeter and 74 lateral quickness. You have Hall of Fame clamps, Hall of Fame interceptor, Hall of Fame intimidator. You're very big, and you're very strong at 75 strength. You're not that fast. One of the weaknesses, but I guess if you're a lock, you likely have to use the shooting guard lock to try to make it in. And then the next thing you're going to go is try the small forward lock, because these are your viable options, especially on primary ball handlers. If you're a lock, this is just what you have to go to. This one and the shooting guard one. This one, as you can see, is inferior to the shooting guard one, and it also gives you less option, because if you're using this build, you are likely going to be the primary lock. Like, there's no way going around it, right? And if your point guard sucks, then because your handling is not that great either, so you can't save yourself with this. But if you're a lock, this is what you're gonna do, and it's still viable. I suggest do this one and the shooting guard one if you're a lock. Now, third one, small forward free level scorer. This is the best 3-point and mid-range shooter in the entire combine, with a 95 free ball and a 95 mid-range and a whole bunch of Hall of Fame badges: catch and shoot, dead eye, quick draw, and green machine. And you still got range extender and corner specialist, difficult shots, and flexible release of all things, and volume shooter on silver. This is the scariest shooter in the entire combine. If you're a pure sharp and you know how you find, you know, your shots off ball, and you want to jack up a whole bunch of threes, this is the one. Now, downside, if you're using this build, you might run into games where your team has no locks, right? Because you have occupied the small forward spot as a, you know, just essentially a godly pure sharp that can't really be either, and it's not that fast and it's kind of weak. Like, you're asking for a run and gun, like just drop free ball kind of games. Like, some of you gotta understand, like, whatever position you choose takes the other position away, or the builds away from that position. Like, that's you, right? Like, if you're playing this build on small forward, you're not gonna get another small forward lock because you took the spot. Now, this is a EFG chasing, high scoring chasing build. I suggest if you're gonna play this, you might as well use the old threat, because at least you can handle a little bit. But if you need the extra boost on freeze and you're very confident with your off-ball techniques, then this is the one, because you got Hall of Fame off-ball too, and 95 free ball, and a flexible release. So if you're just a Ray Allen type of guy, this is for you. I still suggest the old threat or the log, but this will be really pushing it in terms of just all nothing but free balls. But if you can pull it off, and you can use the lesser defensive ratings and the lesser speed and handling and make up for those, you're gonna have a lot of frees, and you might crack top 35 just bombing away. Now let's take a look at power forwards. Once again, these are the 8 ones, and only 2 of them is actually viable, surprisingly. Power forwards have even less. So, first one, likely the best one. 2 different styles to play, but this is the 6'9", 235 glass cleaner power forward with the sharp grand badge. Best single badge in this entire build. I'm gonna let you look, because you just see it. It's the Hall of Fame rebound chaser. Why does this build have it? I don't know, but it has it. It has 86 defensive rebounds and 78 offensive rebounds. This guy is essentially a full corner build, but he has 78 offensive rebound with Hall of Fame rebound chaser standing at 6'9", crashing in from the corner. You should grab a ton of OREBs doing this, as long as you have to. And you also have Hall of Fame catch and shoot and Hall of Fame quick draw, so your 75 free ball in the corner should be more than good enough when you figure out your shot. You got corner specialist too, and dead eye, and range extender, so you can step up a little bit higher on the wing if you have to. You also have gold brick starter, so if you grab a defensive rebound, you might find some easy assists or easy hockey assists, but it doesn't matter. You have rebound chaser. If you are a good rebounder, a very good corner rebounder, and a very good swing corner defender, at 72 steals and gold interceptor, and you also have Hall of Fame intimidator, this is the 3&D power forward build that's gonna rebound like a mother. Like, there's no NBA equivalent to this. This will be one of the best, power forwards spacing out of all times. Like, it's got like Dennis Rodman rebounding and like freaking Shane Battier free ball. Like, not great, but useful. So this is gonna be the one. If you're a power forward that's aiming for low usage, lots of rebounds, great defense, lots of steals, you don't need that many shots, you're only going to hit your open shots, you're not looking for points, you're looking for rebound steals, this is the one. And you can definitely make top 35 with this build because the badges are OD for rebound. Alright, the other power forward build, even though that other one, the glass lock, is so superior, don't sleep on this 6'8", 220 pounds free level playmaking power forward with the sharp grand badge. It is a better shooter at 82 free ball, catch and shoot, quick draw, green machine, corner specialist. It's a better spacing shooter. Now, it is a heck of a playmaker with Hall of Fame brick starter, and it's also got Hall of Fame post spin technician. So this guy can actually also score on the post, score on the free. Now his rebounding is nothing near the glass lock, so you're not going to be able to grab boards. That's like the glass lock with this guy. Can you still grab boards yourself? Sure, you still got gold rebound chaser. Your ratings are much slower, and you're shorter of all things. You're not that much slower, but you are shorter. Your defense is not nearly as good, so the steals aren't going to be there. If you're using this, you're looking to score, and you're a very talented power forward scorer, and you're going to try to make it up in scoring and probably finding assists off like rebounds, defensive rebounds that you're lucky enough to get it. This is not nearly as good as the glass lockdown, but if you're a scorer and you know how to score with the ball and you know how to get the ball, especially in the fast break, you might make top 35 by being a highly efficient, decent usage scoring power forward. Like, if you're not cracking 20 points at this build on high field goal percentage, you're likely not going to make it in because that other power forward is going to rebound you to death. But if you're a really good rebounder and you can happen to get rebounds with this, with all this extra scoring, you might win more, right? Because that rebound lockdown defensive power forward guy, he's not going to score that many points, and he's waiting for people to find him shots. If you play with bad handlers, you just sit in corner. But grabbing OREB might change all that. But this power forward likely takes more things into his own hands. If you're a point guard trying to play power forward, this could be the one for you. But that other glass lockdown one, much better to play with and much easier to execute. Now the centers, here are the 8 charts, but once again only 2 are viable. First one, the glass cleaning lockdown 7'1", 265 with the rebounding grand badge. This one can't really shoot at all. Like, you cannot shoot with this guy. This is a pure rolling rim running center, and that's okay though, because you guys have seen how much shooting comes with the point guard and shooting guard positions. So you can set hero screens because it's got Hall of Fame break wall and Hall of Fame defensive leader. So this guy is here to help. Like, you'll make your teammates better defenders, you're gonna make your point guards better shooters with the Hall of Fame brick wall, and you got Hall of Fame rebound chaser, and your rebounding is insane at 94. So your OREB and defensive rebounding is gonna be up there. Now you're also a very good passing lane defender, relatively speaking. You have decent lateral quickness and speed and acceleration. It's like not terrible. Is it great? No, but you should be able to get some decent hedge defense going with this guy, especially if you just show and try to recover. He is 7'1", 260. He's tall, so he's going to be a little bit on the slow end, but he's going to be very helpful on the defense and on offense, getting shooting guards open shots. If you're a very good hedge defender, this is the one for you, because you can likely jack up your DRTG like crazy in the combine and just win by sheer defensive dominance. Are you going to help the offense out a ton? No, because you will never be good as good as a stretch 5 helping out on offense. But if the other team isn't scoring and you're grabbing all the damn rebounds, or you clean up on offensive grabbing misses, then you'll win that way. And I suggest this if you're not a good shooter, because if you can't shoot as a shooting big man, your EFG is going to go down the drain, and you don't want that. And this guy is just here to dunk, so your shooting EFG is going to be decent because you're only taking 2s. So that's food for thought. Obviously, if you can shoot though, like lights out shooting, then you move on to this one. The glass cleaning lockdown at 7 feet tall, 265 with the sharp grand badge. The rebounding is still decent from the defensive point of view. You still got gold rebound chasers. Not nearly as good as that guy, but your brick wall is still on Hall of Fame. But this guy can shoot a 75 free ball, gold pick and popper, Hall of Fame catch and shoot, gold quick draw. You can even 5-out gold corner specialist if you run into a good defender. You even have silver range extender, and you're not all that slow. The blocking is also excellent, so you're gonna get good interior defense with the intimidator. Steal is not that great, but at 60 you can probably get some. Unfortunately, only a silver interceptor, which is not bad, but you're actually a better interior defender than the rebounding heavy build because you have Hall of Fame intimidator. The only downside with this build, even though everything looks better than the other one, you have to put this into context. If you cannot hit your threes, but you take them, your shooting percentage is going to go really, really bad compared to the other build that just goes in and dumps. But this is the winning center build. So if you're having a decent winning percentage, but you're not very confident on your free, just use it as a threat, but don't throw that many up. Like if you shoot 2 and you miss, don't shoot anymore. 0 for 3 is really bad. 1 for 2, you're in business because you're a center. So keep that in mind. Try to take 2 a game. If you hit both, then keep shooting. But don't try to shoot lower than 50% from deep. This is the winning center build. Especially, you'll make it way easier depending on the point guards you're running. If you're running with a great point guard, he's gonna murder. If you're running with a bad point guard, at least you're helping him out a little bit. The inside C won't be able to provide nearly the type of offense this build can. But if you're not confident with your shot, there's no way you can use this build because you're just going to torpedo your own true shooting percentage. Unless you are really good at threatening people with it and you can make, really smart passes, then you can use this build. But both of these center builds are likely the best. How you choose to use is up to you. I personally would go with the popping center just to make things easier for everyone on offense. But obviously, this one does not have Hall of Fame defensive leader like the other, inside center build. So that's something to consider. See how it goes for you. I suggest start off with the inside center because if you can win with the inside center, that's the move. Because you're going to have so many rebounds, you're going to have more steals, more blocks, and you're also going to have a very low usage, and you're going to have a very high shooting percentage because you're only taking dunks. But if you're not winning with the inside center, then move on to the shooting center and try to do it that way. But if you're confident with your shot off the bat, use the shooting center because there's nothing better than a center that can hit threes. You will outpace EFG all of your peers who's trying to go for the center spot. Alright, so these are the best builds. Anything else likely is not very feasible because you might be the better player, but if you're not using these builds, a lesser player might be able to outproduce you, in advanced stats and also just help his team out more because it's a spacer. People understand how to play with, spacing players or high volume shooter better. Alright, so come check back often throughout the entire combine. There will also be film and more information. This is just my first explanation on the builds. We'll see how the market trends and everything develops. Follow me, add me on Twitter, stay posted, and I will make sure I'll do my best to help all of you. Alright, so as always, thanks for coming by, and I'll speak to you guys again very soon.